everybody, so thank you so much for checking this video, and as the title suggested, in this video I'll be sharing top 5 tips or daily habits that you can incorporate starting tomorrow, and within a couple of months you'd be able to contribute more positively towards the product line or the product that you're managing, and of course make the end user a lot more happier. So without further ado, let's dive in. So tip number 1, being consistent. So when I say being consistent, like, it is not a secret that you would have to be consistent in everything that you do, right? But if I have to rank even that, I would say your passion and energy level. Ensure that nothing can ever pull those two down. Like, you should always ensure that those are intact, and you are always having the same level of passion and enthusiasm and the excitement. When you start something, ensure that that remains as is and nothing can pull those down. So that's very essential. So that's my tip number 1. Let's move on. So tip number 2, I would say blocking time strategically. So what do I mean by that? As a product manager, like, you would have a lot of things that would need your attention, a lot of meetings, a lot of activities, a lot of tasks, essentially like a lot on your plate in a given week or in a given period. So allow yourself to take a step back, look at all of those very objectively and strategically, and ask yourself in how many of those meetings you are like a must-have. If you don't attend, the decisions are going to get impacted or certain things are going to get blocked. If neither of these two happens, like if you are not blocking anything, then allow yourself to be excused from those meetings and utilize that time to address something more critical. So that's very important. Like, I know that we always, in today's world, we always crave for information, but it's okay to kind of take a step back and look at things that are more critical in a given point in time versus trying to do everything. So that's very important. And also, if you work in a global environment, like, you would be working across time zones. So even if you work 24 hours, it's not going to make you a better product manager, or you would not be able to make more positive changes to the product or help the end user in any greater way versus managing your time more effectively. So that's very crucial, and that's my tip number 2. Let's move on. The third tip that I would share is initiative. So I cannot emphasize more on this point. Like, if you really look around, not just in your company or not just in the product and technology space, like across industries, across roles, you'd see that so many people are just striving to ensure that they are able to do the basic, the bare minimum. And it's not because they are inefficient or they lack motivation or they don't want to take initiatives. It is predominantly because in a given day there is only so many hours. Unless you are prioritizing everything and you have a very optimized plan for yourself, you would not be able to do everything. You would not be able to make everybody happy. So that's the main reason people, like most people I know, want to take initiatives, but it's just that they are not able to execute upon those. And I feel the main reason is because they are not effectively prioritizing it over other things that they are doing in life. So I'll give example. For me, taking initiative is very important because I do want to make very positive impact to the product that I work on. I do want to make the end user very happy and want to make the entire ecosystem a lot better. So that's me, and it's very important. So anything that is very important to you, you kind of somehow figure out how to go about it. My approach towards initiative is I take baby steps. Let's get into examples. So look at or ask yourself, like, what are the things that you do quite periodically, and could you optimize and could you make things better? For example, if you're a product manager, there would obviously be product releases, so there would be things that you would have to do repeatedly. For example, you would have to write release note, you would have to train the users on the new functionalities, you would have to collect feedback. So ask yourself, how can you do things differently? What all new dimensions or angles can you add to it? How can you make the experience better for you, people around you, as well as the end user? So think about all of those deeply, and create a plan around it. And it doesn't have to happen in within a week or in a release. It can be planned out over a period of time. And one very important thing about initiatives, I would say, is include everybody around you. Help other people to see the vision, because driving change is not about just leading change. It's about including other people, helping them to see the vision, and once they are part of the journey, it becomes a lot more easier, and you would feel a collective accomplishment, and that feeling is a lot grander than anything else. So yeah, so that's my thought around initiative. So let's move on to the next point. And the fourth tip, I would say, would be learning. And it's again not a big surprise. You don't need anybody to tell you that continuous learning is extremely important in today's world to stay relevant. And now, talking from product manager's standpoint, right? So ask yourself, why do you need to learn, and what is it that you are learning for? You are learning to become a better problem solver, right? So, and that has many dimensions. So it has a product angle, it has a business angle, it has a domain or industry or the market work angle. Likewise, there are so many angle or dimension to it. So first, step one is understand and acknowledge why you are learning, what are the things you need to learn, and make a plan. And the plan should not scare you, and it should not be very time intensive. Do it in a way that you can accommodate it in your calendar. At least like 30 to 45 minutes put aside for like self-learning, and prioritize that over anything else that you are doing today, if you want to become a better product manager and better problem solver and remain relevant and make positive changes to the product. So yeah, so that's around continuous learning. And the last point for this video that I would touch upon is reflection. So in today's world, it has become a bit difficult to listen, absorb, and reflect on things. Again, we human beings should not be blamed for that. It's just time today is different from 5 years back or 10 years back. Give yourself the credit for the quantum of information that you are processing on a daily basis today. We didn't have to do it 5 years back or 10 years back. So give a pat to yourself for that. And at the same time, the downside is, as I said, in a given day you have only so many hours. Limit the number of hours you're processing information. Allow yourself to take a break from all of that, and allow yourself some time to absorb and reflect on things. That is extremely important to kind of retain your human angle. So unless you're able to absorb, reflect, you would find it very difficult to stay connected to your surrounding and look at things with empathy, and look at things at a different level. And these are very important to become or remain a very good problem solver. So allow yourself time to kind of absorb and reflect on things, and everybody has their own way of kind of going about it. I know a lot of people who spend like 5 minutes meditating at night before going to sleep, and they maintain a gratitude journal. I personally don't do it, but yeah, I do it maybe once a week. Like I go out, walk, and I completely switch off from everything in this world, and that's the time I kind of think about how my week went, I reflect on things, and I kind of want to plan mentally about the next week. That works for me. You might, want to have your own plan around it, but I don't need to really say it, like it is the most important thing in today's world, to remain grounded, to remain connected to the world around you, to remain or become a better problem solver. And not only that, like if you are someone who's able to reflect on things, look at things at a much deeper level, with empathy, you would also become a better human being, and that should be our goal. So with that note, I would conclude this video. Do put in the comment section below your thoughts and tips around or daily habits that you have incorporated or you are doing where you have seen positive changes or positive results. And I for sure can guarantee that people who are going to take this point that I have mentioned in this video and start executing on this and be consistent about it for a couple of months, you'd definitely be able to make very positive changes to the product that you manage and make the end user a lot more happier.